Hello everyone, I Assistant Professor Pragati Shetty from Department of Microbiology, KJ Somaiya College. In this online lecture, we will study about the hemorrhagic viruses. So the both two groups of the virus will come under this. One is the Ebola virus and second is the dengue virus. Okay, both the viruses are responsible for causing the hemorrhagic fever. So first we will study the Ebola virus. Okay, so as we know, this virus has shown very drastic effects and very harmful effects on our world. Okay, in the previous years the Ebola virus was spread enormously in the population, which has resulted in the death of most of the population. Okay, now this Ebola virus, you can see in the picture, there is the structure of the Ebola virus. Okay, it is the enveloped virus, non-segmented virus, and negatively stranded RNA is its genome. Okay, it is negatively stranded RNA virus, and it appears to have spikes because, see, as it will contain the envelope, so there will be the lipid envelope proteins. Okay, so these are glycoproteins which we called as the spikes, right? If you remember in the earlier lectures that we have studied, the RNA structures, the virus RNA virus structure who are enveloped on that, the spikes has been observed, right, which are called as the glycoproteins. Now this virus, Ebola virus, belongs to the family called as the Filoviridae. Okay, the natural reservoir of this virus is still unknown. Okay, but mostly it is the found in the bats, and it can say as the zoonotic virus. Okay, now we will classify this virus depending upon order, family, genera, and the species. Order of this virus is the Monieja virilis. Okay, then family, it will have the Filoviridae family. In that family, the genus will be Ebola virus, and the species of this virus is the that will responsible for causing the hemorrhagic fever is the Zaire Ebola virus, Z Ebola virus. Okay, then this virus is responsible for the current outbreak in the West Africa, right? As I mentioned, the virus has shown in the previous years a great drastic outbreak. Okay, so in this species, that is the Z Ebola virus, was responsible for causing that outbreak in the West Africa. So including this Z Ebola virus, we have certain different 5 types of this Ebola virus. First is the Zaire Ebola virus, Sudan Ebola virus, Thai Forest Ebola virus, Bundibugyo Ebola virus, and the Reston Ebola viruses. Alright. Now, coming to the epidemiology of the virus. Since the December 2013 and as of 19 October 2014, the World Health Organization has recorded and reported 9,936 cases of Ebola viruses disease in West Africa, including a very large amount of the death of the people, which is 7,877, which means more than half of that number, right? So we can say it is very contagious, it is very infectious virus. And 42% healthcare workers were infected with the EVD, that is the Ebola virus disease. Okay, see there we will see the host, specific host that are at the highest risk, so that will also include the healthcare workers. Okay, this virus will spread through the mucus, through the fluids, body fluids, okay, through the cuts, through the lesions. So the healthcare workers will be at more risk, right? So they are dealing with this equipments and this needles, syringes, or any other sources of the infections. Okay, then you can see in the right hand picture the outbreak was recorded in the West Africa, which was first initially a small population outbreak. We can say endemic. Okay, what is an endemic? A disease spreads or disease occurred in a very distinct population, in a very distinct community of the people. Okay, then after endemic it will convert to what? Epidemic. Epidemic is what? A disease present in certain parts of the countries or certain regions. For example, epidemic for the cholera in the India or the yellow fever in Africa. All right, and that will convert into the pandemic. Pandemic means what? The whole world will suffer. All right, now in a very large population the disease will be present. For example, SARS and the influenza. So what is the point here? That the Ebola is able to cause the both, all of three, endemic, epidemic as well as the pandemic. Okay, now the Ebola hemorrhagic fever is an acute viral syndrome that presents with the fever and the bleeding diathesis, which is very distinguishedly marked by the high mortality rate in the human and the non-human primates. So it is basically a type of fever, hemorrhagic fever, which is also accompanied with the bleeding. Okay, bleeding diathesis, and due to which the mortality rate of this fever diseases is very high in the human and in the non-human primates. Okay, now we will study the transmission of this virus, how this virus will transmit from one person to the another person or from one host to the another host. Okay, so first the virus is thought initially can be transferred via the body fluid exposure, right? As I mentioned, it can transfer through the mucus, body fluids, tissues. Okay, then from the infected animals such as bats and the non-human primates. See, the reservoir for this virus has not been perfectly or accurately known, but the most common one is the bat. Okay, so it will transmit or it will transfer via the bats. Then the human to human transmission occurs through the body fluid contacts, right, from the infected patient. Now body fluid contact will include the close physical contact or the physical contact, so that may be with the sweat, with the blood, feces, vomit, saliva, genital secretions, urinary secretions and the breast milk. Okay, so which are the ways for human transmission? By body fluids, and in the body fluid or in the physical contact by sweat, by blood, feces, then vomiting, right, then saliva, genital secretion, urinary secretion and breast milk. Okay, of the infected patients. Then the incubation period for this virus is approximately 5 to 9 days. Okay, after the infection, right? Then this is the transmission. This is how the virus will transmit from the reservoir to the host. Okay, or from one host to the another host in case of human to human transmissions, right? Then we will come into the pathogenesis, how this virus will establish its localization in the host cell, right? How it will get entry into the host body. Then starting with the pathogenesis. Okay, so as we have saw the viral genome, okay, it is the single stranded RNA. Okay, so now that RNA is consist of 19 kb strand, okay, the weight of that RNA, with the 7 viral genes, nucleoproteins. Okay, the 7 viral genes that are transcribed by viral RNA dependent RNA polymerase. Okay, then the single strand of the RNA is covered by the helically arranged that nucleoproteins NP and the viral protein 30, which both of which are linked together by matrix protein. Okay, matrix protein called as VP24 and VP4 to the lipid bilayer. Okay, lipid bilayer, which means that is the nucleocapsid that will coat the genome, virion. All right, virion mean what? The virus with its naked genome, which means virion, right? So what are important points? First, 7 viral nucleoproteins which are transcribed getting with the help of RNA dependent RNA polymerase. Next, what is happening? The single strand of that RNA genome is completely covered. You can see in that earlier picture of the Ebola virus, the strand of the RNA virus is completely covered by helically arranged nucleoproteins, right? Nucleoprotein NP and the viral protein 30. Okay, now VP are present in the matrix, right, and the nucleoprotein are present in the nucleic acid. Therefore, these both proteins are linked by matrix proteins VP24 and VP4. Okay, this matrix is present in the lipid bilayer, which we call nucleocapsid. This nucleocapsid will do protection for the genome. Okay, then this is about the genomic properties, right? The genomic processes that is taking place inside the virus. Now what will happen? The first, from the infected reservoir or from the infected host, the Ebola virus will transfer to the healthy person through the infected fluid. Okay, by any physical contact, by body fluids. Okay, if the skin cuts are there and if the person is come in contact with the infected person fluids, then the virus can be transferred. Then this can occur with animal to human, right, by means with bats to human or with human to human transmission. After the transmission, after the virus will get entry into the body, host body, now they will replicate. Okay, they will replicate into the monocyte, macrophages and dendritic cells. These 3 cells are the preferred replication site, are their site of replication. Okay, on the initial infection, the initial infection in the incubation period, they will start multiplying, they will increase its community there, they will increase its own number, right, in order to cause infection. Then infected cells migrate to the regional lymph node, liver and spleen, thereby disseminating the infection. Then what will happen? Now in the initial stage, the virus will replicate, right, into the macrophage, dendritic and the monocyte. After that, the infected cells migrate to the lymph node, right? These cells, monocyte, macrophage, dendritic cells, will migrate to the lymph node. Now these are infected ones, right? This will contain the virus particle. Now this regional lymph node they will reach, and also to the liver and the spleen, and therefore they induce the infection again there. So again they will multiply that sites. Alright, So this is the pathogenesis, and therefore thereby after what will happen, they will increase the body temperature, and they will induce the bleeding of the diathesis, okay, which are the characteristic symptoms of this Ebola virus disease, right? Now after this we will study which host are more susceptible, or which type of the groups are at more risk for getting this infection, getting this disease. First one, the persons who are in continuously contact with the infected patients, right? Then that will include the healthcare worker, right? As I mentioned, the healthcare worker, then household contacts. Second, the persons who are involved in the burial ceremonies of infected persons, right? This is also one important point. Next, healthcare workers, household persons. Okay, now these are the susceptible hosts. Now look into the right hand side slide. A contact is a term, okay? A contact is a term, and the term is coined by the WHO, which is known as someone, okay, a person who has slept in the same household as a patient. Now this include the patient or someone who had direct physical contact with the patient, who touched the patient's body fluid, or been breastfed by that patient. That these points will come under the contact, physical contacts, right? So direct physical contact during the illness or at the funeral, then touch the patient's body fluids. Okay, second one will be the body fluid contacts. Third will be the breastfeeding, okay, by the infected patients. By that way also the virus will transfer. These are the susceptible host for the Ebola virus, right? Now we will study which are the clinical signs or the clinical symptoms for this disease. First, there are 3 phases of the illness, okay? Once a person will get this infection, the infection will be in the 3 stages, 3 phases. First is for very few days, initial stage, approximately 5 to 7 days, okay, which is its incubation period of that virus, right? In that there will be only headache, non-specific fever, and the myalgia. So these symptoms can get ignored at the initially, right? Because in most of the non-harmful infections or non-harmful cases, diseases, these symptoms are very common. So this can be misunderstood. Then second phase, in second phase what will happen? It is called as the gastrointestinal phase. Gastrointestinal phase, which means it will result into the diarrhea, vomiting, abdominal symptoms, dehydration, okay? So this will include in the second, that is the gastrointestinal phase. Now in the second week, that is in the 8 to 15 days, the patient can recover to the deteriorate, okay? Now in the third phase, which is very important phase, or we can say very contagious and harmful phase, in that what will happen? Cell will collapse together, rupture, cell will rupture, the neurological manifestations will be there, okay, and bleeding, shock, coma, and then death will be happen after this 16 to 21 days. So we can say the first phase for 5 to 7, second for 8 to 15, and then 16 to 21 days, okay? These are the 3 phases of illness in this Ebola virus disease. Now the typical symptoms that has been observed in the patients are fever greater than 101 degree Fahrenheit, then fatigue, then vomiting, diarrhea, headache, bleeding, abdominal pain, myalgia, prostration, sore throat, okay, then the miscarriage, abortion, hiccups, and the rashes. If you look into these symptoms, these are very common symptoms, right? So therefore this can mislead to flu or malaria. And if the symptoms are got misunderstood, then the person can reach to the third phase of the illness, which is very much dangerous, right? These are the typical symptoms of this disease. Now in this online lecture we have studied the structure of the Ebola virus. Okay, after this structure we have studied the classification according to the family. Then we have saw the epidemiology. After epidemiology we saw the pathogenesis, the host range, which hosts are more susceptible for getting this disease. Then we saw the clinical stages, 3 phases, and then we saw the typical symptoms. Okay, clinical typical symptoms. I hope you understood this online lecture. If you have any doubt regarding this, please ask in the comment section. Thank you for watching.